Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's March 24th, 2000. And we've got spring fever.
Hell yeah. Everybody in this episode sure does.
Name of the episode, Spring Fever. Yeah, well, there's I guess because, like, you know, spring's the time when you have sex and you know, have babies and stuff like that. Isn't that what they say? Like, that's...
I mean, that's, I guess, when a lot of animals procreate.
Birth and rebirth, right?
Sure.
That's spring for you.
I'm breaking out in hives.
From the dog?
Yes.
I told you not to pick him up. And, you know, it's so funny that you don't ever listen... We're 1 second, guys. We'll get back
What is happening?
We'll go back to 90210 in a second. You never listen to me. I always tell you not to do something that we know is going to hurt you. You do it anyway. It hurts you. And then you were like, oh, you were right. And then 2 days from now, you're going to be picking up the fucking dog again. She's allergic to dogs.
So... the fucking dog has a hurt leg, and I was by myself with the fucking dog.
No, you weren't. I was right there. You could have just said, come and get him.
You were in the other room.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
You know I'm right.
I know I'm itchy, so I guess you're right.
Stop not listening to me.
Okay. Whatever. Shall we talk about 90210?
I guess.
So this episode's weird because it starts with...
Was it weird like somebody that doesn't listen to their significant other?
Actually, I think that's pretty common. It starts, though, with Dylan and Matt planning a road trip together.
Yeah, it doesn't start like that. But...
Okay, I'm sorry. How the fuck does it start, Mark?
That's scene 2. We get Nat. We get Nat for a second too.
Oh yeah, Joey Tata was in the credits in the opening stuff again today.
And he's in one scene, and he's like, "Hey, sausage is good, huh? We sell this sausage here." Kelly's got some promotion now that she's on her own doing public relations with her psychology degree. She has a new client, the Knockwurst King of California or whatever. It's like the Sausage King of Chicago. Abe Froman. You know Abe Froman?
No.
Oh, okay. It's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Anyway, so Nat's like, yeah, we have that sausage here. It's great or whatever. She's planning a commercial for him. Now, it's weird. As someone points out, this seems like not publicity. It seems like it doesn't seem like PR stuff. It seems like advertising stuff.
Okay.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Because he should be hiring an advertising firm to
for a commercial,
create a commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
But instead, she's handling it for some reason
because they don't understand anything about how the world works. The writers of the show, I'm sorry, you don't.
But I believe where the episode starts. I may be wrong. Maybe I'm getting things out of order. But I believe where the episode starts is David's doing his radio program. And he's like, hey, what's your fantasy, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, a girl that doesn't talk. And he's like, you mean like it doesn't talk during sex? He's like, no, it doesn't talk ever. Like, so women are hot or whatever, but like, man, sometimes their mouths just keep on going, and you don't like it or whatever. And he's like, okay, you're lame, and he hangs up on him. And he's like, so I'm rating. He goes, the topic is your fantasies, and I'm rating them on a hotness scale or something. I can't remember what he says. It's like he's coming up with it off the top of his head, even though this should be pre-planned. All in his.
It should be, but I mean, we don't really pre-plan much. We do our stuff.
This show is tightly scripted, everyone. And so he's like, so I rate this -3 flamethrowers or whatever. I don't remember what his rating system is. But he's like, so call in with your fantasies. And then someone calls in and she's like, hey, I've got a fantasy for you, David. And just in case we couldn't tell, especially they show her in bed in a negligee. And they go over to Donna. And Donna's like, Camille?
Yeah, so what's her fantasy?
My boyfriend taking me out to a nice restaurant, and then like we find a secluded spot or whatever and have sex. Basically, like I can't remember exactly how she puts it, but it's sex in public is her fantasy.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how she put it either. That's why I asked. But
and he's like, "Oh, sex in public,
yeah,
scandalous." And Donna's like, "What a whore."
So then they're trying to go out on a date so that they can like create her fantasy, but Donna is
kind of, yeah.
Donna is getting upset all day long about every single person she sees that's happy in a relationship. She's setting up a mannequin in the window. There are people kissing. She's like, what the hell? Oh, and before that, too, like the night before, I think, Kelly and Matt come in to their Malibu Barbie beach house and are just like practically fucking all the way down the hallway into their room.
Yeah, it's really weird. They're like, whoa.
And Donna is just feeling very sorry for herself because she is not getting any.
Donna's talking to her mom, and her mom's like, hey, Donna, it's Saturday night. How come you're not doing anything? And she's like, oh, I'm just whatever. And she's like, how's David? And she's like, you've never connected those two ideas before. And she's like, well, he's a nice guy. He's always treated you well. He's been a good friend to you. And she's like, yeah, he is. He's out with Camille right now. And she goes, oh, the woman with the too short hair?
Does her mother say this?
Yes.
I don't remember any of this conversation.
Yeah, she says her hair's too short.
Although I got distracted with like a work phone call, so.
Oh, interesting.
I try really hard to, not be distracted by life, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, so yeah, she says that the woman's hair is too short, and she's like,
it is, but she's pretty enough to pull it off. Just like Emily.
Borderline. Who's Emily?
You don't remember Brandon's punk rock girl?
Oh, punk rock girl.
Yeah, she had really short hair.
Emily Valentine.
Yeah.
The punk rock girl. She is hot. She's hot enough to pull that off.
Well, I think Camille is as hot or hotter.
I don't know.
This is one time I guess we disagree on women.
Yeah. Just the once.
Pretty much.
But anyway, yeah, Donna says like, well, Mom, if I went out Saturday night, I wouldn't be here to take your do you have a boyfriend yet phone calls.
I do vaguely remember that. But yeah, so Donna's not in a great place.
Donna's getting pissed off. And Camille comes up to her and says, can I take some, can I leave a little bit early? And she's like, well, you know what you need to do, so if you get it done, you can leave early or whatever. She's all pissed off, though.
But instead, she ends up having to do inventory and not leaving.
Because some new stuff came in, and Donna, basically, it's so transparent that Donna's just, like, trying to stop them from going out and having sex. Because she's like, oh, we need to do all the inventory now.
But, like, she leaves Camille to do it.
Yeah.
Which is shitty. Like, she should be helping her.
Right. If it's so important,
yeah, then
you should be doing it too. Or maybe instead. But, of course, it's not because it's so important. It's because she wants to stop her from going out with David.
So David comes to pick her up, and she's upset and explaining how she has to stay and do all the inventory. And he's like, well, maybe we can still make your fantasy come true.
Yeah, we're still in public.
Because a security guard walks by. And, like, catches them kissing. And so then he's like, oh, hey, we can fuck and it'll be, like, in public.
I guess. I thought their reaction was a little, his reaction was a little weird. Because the security guard's, like, looking at him and he's like, oh, they keep backs up, like, from kissing her for a second. It's like, is it illegal to kiss someone in, a store you're closing? I don't,
it was weird. It was weird. But the security guard looked at them weird, too.
He did.
The whole thing was weird.
Maybe he was waiting for an invitation.
Maybe. But, like, I mean, he's obviously doing his rounds. They hide behind the, like, cashier, though, the cash register.
They hide behind the cashier. The cashier's still there. Oh, my goodness, what's going on?
The podium where the cash register is. That's where they're having sex. Correct. Behind that. So he wouldn't see them if he walked by. Mm-hmm. But
do you count this as having sex in public?
Yes.
All right.
Because not only are they having sex in a public space that, while closed to the public, there is still a person we know walking around, they also get caught.
Well, they do get caught, yes.
Because Donna apparently decided to come help with the fucking inventory. I don't know. She comes in.
She's decided to come help with something. No, she's looking for her cellular telephone. That's what she says.
So, yeah, she's looking for her phone. She goes up to the counter.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And she drops the phone.
Yeah. I mean, like, horrible acting.
Yeah, and like, her shocked and scandalized face doesn't make sense. She's seen David naked before.
Yeah. Well, she's never seen him naked with another girl, except for that time she saw him with Ariel.
Oh, yeah. It's true. This is the second time she's walked in on him having sex. Yeah. He really needs to do better.
Well, it's been like 10 years.
It doesn't matter.
But I was going to ask you, before we go on with the thing, have you ever made whoopee in public?
Yes. Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. More
than once? Or just the once? Because I know the one time.
Well, okay, you know the one time?
In a car.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, you know? Oh, yeah.
I know you've done it more than once.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I guess we just want to share.
Okay, fine. Moving on. So she catches them, and then basically she's sort of like, she kind of avoids them. Like, this is sort of the end of the storyline, except for one other scene. She kind of like avoids them. There's a couple other scenes with her where she's like, oh, you know, like when Camille comes and she's like, I'm sorry, you know, and everything, like it was wrong of us or whatever. But the real punchline is when David comes and he's like,
yeah, he does. No, sorry.
He says to her, hey, you know, I'm sorry that I didn't, that was a bad choice of judgment, that I didn't respect you enough to realize that you'd have a problem with that, and that, like, you know, it would be hurtful for you and everything.
Yeah, but like the fact that they realize that it's hurtful for her, that's like a problem. Mm-hmm. I mean, and they're not really addressing that.
Somebody says at some point, and I don't remember who it is, but somebody says at some point to David that Donna's acting like she wants him back.
Camille. I think Camille's the one that says it to him.
Well, Camille, you have Camille for sure, and he seems pleased.
Yeah,
about the whole thing.
Yeah, like Donna walks away to go get a coffee, and like, yeah, Camille's like, you know, she wants you back, and that's why she's upset.
Yeah, that's why she's upset about this stuff.
And he's like, oh, really?
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We already know that David wants her back, and she wants David back now, apparently. Well, we know that. She said that last episode.
But what about Camille?
What about her? Who cares? Her hair sucks.
Okay.
Does she have a better body than Donna?
No. She's a prettier face.
True.
Although Donna is pretty. She's like grown into her face, and I really like the red hair.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway. What was that? Oh, yeah, let's talk about Matt and Dylan now.
Okay.
Because that's what I wanted to talk about. And you're like, oh, no, that's not how that started.
All right, let's talk about Matt and Dylan. Matthew and Dilthu.
So this is so weird. They're going on a fucking road trip to motorbike. First of all, I don't picture Matt as a motorbiking person. Secondly...
Everyone knows you are now. By the fact that you called it a motorbiking person. Exactly. We know what a motorbike enthusiast you are now.
Right. But
You're one with the crusty demons.
What the fuck are crusty demons?
Don't worry about it.
Sounds like an underwear gnome or something. Anyway. They're not friends.
No.
That's the weirdest part about this to me. Why would they... I wouldn't go to my ex's new significant other and be like, hey, let's go on a road trip.
Let's motorbike together.
Like, what is going on?
I don't know. They hand wave it away by Matt saying, well, you said like you want Dylan and I to be like friends or more friendly or whatever. And she's like, yeah, like go and get a beer type of friends, not go on a road trip.
It's very strange behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But they go, and the whole time, like, they're doing, like, it's obviously stunt dudes on these motorbikes.
Yeah, because they're clad in helmets and everything.
And they're zipping all over the place. So Matt has like a little wipeout where he like goes over a cliff. I thought he was going to be more seriously injured.
So did I. I thought it was going to be like, it was going to be something where not Donna, where Kelly's going to be like pissed off at Dylan for getting him hurt.
Right. But no, he's fine. He's somehow
got a bit of a limp, but he's okay.
But I mean, you know, he's like in his 20s and
he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. So, some other motorbikeist person. They're not motorcycles, right? There's something that's different.
They're
right?
dirt bikes.
Yeah. It's a she.
Well, there's a whole party.
Yeah.
Where Dylan was going to camp, there's a whole, like, there's RVs and stuff, like, and tents. There's a whole party of people in this, like, little clearing.
And this chick comes up to check and see if Matt's okay and invites them to join the party. Mm-hmm. And, like, right then and there, a truly good, faithful person probably would decline the invitation from the hot girl to come to the party.
Yeah.
But they go. Mm-hmm. And they get punch. You know, she's giving out punch.
She's got like a jug of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's weird looking juice or whatever, and she's like, "Here, have this."
Desert juice, she calls it.
Yeah, desert juice.
And she gives some to Matt, and then takes his hand, and they walk off together. Mm-hmm. That's not okay.
No.
In my opinion, right there, like you're already like on the border, maybe even cross the line with your toe of cheating.
Yeah, for holding hands.
Yes.
So you think holding hands is cheating?
I don't, but it's not appropriate, and it's like a gateway action. It's like, I'm saying, like, it's right on the edge of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, like, if you held, I would be really upset if you held hands with a girl.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset. I haven't held any hands with the girls, but no girls and I have gone down to the malt shop holding hands or, you know, like anything like that. But,
or, you know, any of your coworkers.
No, none of
Don't come up and take your hand at break and be like, let me show you something.
No, that hasn't happened.
If it did, you would pull your hand away, right?
That's correct, yes.
You wouldn't be drug along by the hot girl.
That's correct.
Right.
I would pull my hand away. And I'm saying I don't think you shouldn't be upset. Like, you should be upset if something like that happened. But I don't know that I would call it cheating.
But it's not okay.
No, it's not okay for sure.
And
it's on the border, though. It's on the border.
As he drinks more and more of this desert juice, he's getting more and more amped up. And, like, Dylan's just sitting on a bench, drinking beer, watching Matt. Mm-hmm. It's really kind of weird.
We get this really horrible scene to this shot. As she's leading him off by the hand, there's these two guys standing by the cooler of the jugs or whatever, and the guy's like, "Oh man, this is some of the finest acid in the fucking county or whatever." Like it's pure exposition, and it lasts a little bit too long, like longer than it needs to let us know that he's drinking liquid acid.
Yeah,
is there that popular? Like, so I may have known some people that have done acid before. I may have been around it before.
Me too.
It's I might know how to ingest it.
Yeah, okay, you've done acid. Continue.
No, for legal purposes, I have not.
Okay.
But there are different ways to do it. You know, like blotter. You know, put it on your tongue, let it dissolve in there, and everything like that. I guess I have heard of, like, you know, mixing it in with stuff like this before, but I didn't realize it was still this common or that common. But I guess for this part, it seems weird. Like, you really have to dose that out well and mix it well.
And it doesn't look like they're mixing well. Like, it's just a jug.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you would think like a dropper in a cup. Like you pour some juice, you put a dropper in the cup, and then you drink that. I'd get that. But like pre-mixing it, it's like, are we sure that each sip is full concentration?
Well, of course not.
You know,
you
like
can't be.
So that's the problem. Someone could get a big dose. Someone could get like almost nothing.
Well, I think Matt got a big dose because he keeps going back for more too. He's had like 2 or 3 cups of this shit.
Yeah. So there's like a party going on. There's a bonfire. They're dancing.
He doesn't know that he's had acid. Like, he has no idea. I think he thinks it's alcohol. I'm sure he knows he's inebriated in some way. But, I mean...
I'll tell you what, this is maybe the most fun acting I've seen the guy that plays Matt does, though.
Right.
Is he's, like, all smiling and happy, and, like, he's jumping up and down and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, acid's not cocaine.
Yeah, and it's not ecstasy either. Like, he really seemed more like he's on ecstasy.
That is, a lot more what it seems to be portrayed as, yeah.
I mean, he would just need to be a little more sweaty, that's all. But, because they're calling it desert juice, it kind of makes sense to me, though, because... like peyote and, you know, like Jim Morrison, right? Like, he went off in the desert to do hypnotic stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Or hallucinogenic stuff, I guess I should say. So it makes sense to me that they'd call it desert juice, and that would tell most of the people that it has acid.
I guess if you're in drug culture, sure.
Right. Well, I'm guessing all the people at the party are.
But yeah, some brown-haired woman, black-haired woman comes over to Dylan and starts snuggling up with him and everything. So you and I both were like, look, Dylan should be watching him. Like, Matt is gone.
Clearly. And he's dancing with this woman. She's jumping up on him, like she's wrapped her legs around him at some point. Like,
yeah, she was on his back.
Mm-hmm. Like, none of this...
He was carrying her Yoda style.
Yeah, none of this is okay. And if he were really a friend to Matt, he would intervene.
I feel like he wanted to see how this played out.
Yeah, I do too. Because he was just sitting there watching the whole fucking time. Like, it was a great movie. Like, he wanted some fucking popcorn to go with the show.
But he gets an out because the black-haired woman's like, hey, I want to show you my tent.
Yeah, so he goes off and gets laid and leaves Matt with the blonde. And then in the morning...
very predictable.
The dark-haired lady's like, oh, last time I saw your friend, he was baying at the moon over there.
By this under this tree. So they go over there to wake him up from his tent.
Not his tent.
Well, yeah.
They didn't bring their own tents to this party.
But he's not alone.
No, he is not. The blonde-haired girl is naked under a blanket with him.
So I could see them going two ways. They could go the way of, like, he didn't have sex with her. They just slept naked together or whatever. Like, he couldn't do it or whatever. He was too gone. Or they did have sex and he cheated on her.
Pretty sure they had sex.
Yeah. I guess that's what they're implying. He has no memory of it. Is this cheating?
Did he say he has no memory? I don't remember him saying that.
He said the last thing that he remembers was, like, mud and whatever. But
drawing on a woman's back in mud or something.
But he doesn't remember having sex. Is that cheating?
I don't know. It's hard to say because he's not in a place where he can consent, right? Like, he's too far gone to truly consent to sex. But he made a lot of poor choices leading up to that.
And that's why I think it's cheating.
So I still feel like he put himself in that position.
Because let's say I went to a party with a coworker. And there was a bunch of, like, alcohol at this party. And I got, like, blackout drunk. And I woke up in bed with this coworker. In case you guys are unaware, I have a job. And you'd be upset.
Yes.
And you would probably consider that cheating.
Ish.
Ooh, would that be grounds for divorce?
I don't know. Let's not test it.
Oh, wow. Okay. But no, I think it would be cheating. The act itself might not be cheating, but I think it would be cheating because of what you said, because of all the poor decisions that led up to that. Like, in this scenario, I chose to go to this party with someone that has a crush on me, which is not maybe the best thing in the world, right? Then I chose to drink at this party, right? And then I chose to continue to drink to the point where I got, this is not something that happened to everyone, don't worry, that I got so inebriated or whatever that I couldn't consent anymore. Now, the only thing that Matt has going for him in this is that he didn't know he was drinking liquid acid. However, he knew he was drinking something. He knew it wasn't just like punch.
Yeah.
It wasn't just juice.
Yeah, he knew he was drinking.
Yeah.
He thought it was alcohol, but it was drugs.
That's his only defense is that he didn't know he was taking drugs.
Yeah, he was drugged. That's why I don't know that I consider it cheating. Because, like, if a girl goes to a party and gets a spiked drink and ends up having sex with somebody and doesn't remember, most people would say, oh, that's rape. That's not consensual. That's,
right.
But he's a dude, so we're like, oh, it's not?
That's tough.
Because think about it. Imagine this is Kelly, who is at a party with a guy.
Let's imagine it's someone I like. It's Emily Valentine.
Sure. At a party, a guy is giving her drugs in her drink and not telling her, and he likes her and wants to sleep with her, and then later they have sex. Is that her fault?
Oh, okay. I see where you're coming from now. He held hands with her, though.
Yeah. I like I said, I mean, there was a lot of poor choices, and I feel like he wanted to sleep with her.
Some part of him obviously did.
But I don't know that he would have if he hadn't had 3 glasses of liquid acid.
I guess that's one of the differences, is that a guy has to be able to physically perform to have sex, and a woman doesn't.
That's true.
So, like, that's a bit of a difference, but I do see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I would completely give him a pass if I was Kelly here, but I think they're going to break up probably, but I think in real life, I think this is probably something you could get over.
It's probably something you could get over, or I could get over. It's not something Kelly could get over.
Yeah, and that's why
she is a super judgmental bitch. Yeah. She doesn't give anybody any slack about anything ever.
Even though she slept with Dylan while her and Matt were together.
And she did coke. Mm-hmm. Like, she had a whole drug addiction thing going on for a while, but she's not going to be understanding about this in any way.
She was going to sleep with that drug dealer, too.
Yeah.
For cocaine.
Yeah. Nope, she is totally not going to be okay.
No, she's not going to forgive him at all. And that's, I think, I know we're not too many episodes away from the end of the show. And I think, we both said that we think that her and Matt are going to end up breaking up. Maybe she'll end up with Dylan. Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll end up alone. I don't know. But I think this is the beginning of the end for them.
I think she'll end up with Dylan.
And as they're leaving and everything, Dylan seems to be saying like, "Hey, you shouldn't tell her."
Which is weird because I really thought he was gonna throw him under the bus.
And he's like, Matt's like, no, like basically Matt's like, I gotta tell her. Like, so he's planning on telling Kelly about the situation.
But when he goes home, she's in bed, and he just snuggles up to her and tells her to go to sleep, and I missed you and stuff.
Yeah.
So he doesn't tell her right away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would wait too, probably. You know, the other thing too, real quick before we move on to the other storyline, I forgot in the Donna storyline, she mentioned, or David mentions, because they're talking about, see, David comes in and he's like, it seems like he's going to say to her, hey, we should be together. Like, it seems like that's what he's going to say. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be with Camille anymore. I want to be with you. And I think you want to be with me. And she starts talking about how, like, the other day she tried on the rhinestone dress from the first dance that they went to. And he's like, oh, I remember you said you were proud to be going with the best dancer at West Beverly High. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't even remember that. And I was like, well, I do. Because we talked about that.
And he mentions how the dress cut his hand every time he touched her, and she's like, "I think my mother did that on purpose."
Right. But yeah. So the last, I just think it's funny that they reference that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like them bringing.
I do
back
too,
also.
And that's why I like their of all the storylines. The Steve and Janet storyline here is not terrible.
No.
It's the comic relief section, but like I said last time, the David Donna storyline. I think David's a little bit better of an actor than Donna is. And I don't think Donna's great, but I think they're good when they're on screen together.
Yeah.
Their acting suddenly becomes better when they're together. I think they bring out the best at each other as far as acting goes.
I agree.
And I care about their story much more than anyone else's story.
Yeah, I really want them together.
But yeah, the last thing that happens is
it's so dumb.
The storyline is that Kelly is creating this commercial for this Knotworks guy, and he is mercurial. He's constantly changing his mind of like, you know, I want this, no, I want this, not babies. Let's do old men. You know, like he just keeps going like back and forth and everything, right? And it makes this storyline like disjointed and like it can't have a normal story arc or a satisfying conclusion at all because of the way it's constantly shifting. It's like trying to find your footing on a sand dune, this storyline. Because it starts out with Kelly is like, hey, I want Maddie to be one of the babies in this ad. There's a bunch of babies coming out to be this, like, you know, all these babies in a bun for this Knockwurst thing, right? Because that's the concept is, we're going to use babies to sell it, right? And Steve is like, Janet's like, yeah, you know, I'd love to or whatever. And Steve is adamantly, no, we're not fucking doing this. Mm-hmm. My mom was on Hartley House. I saw all the kids like that were on that show, and they grew up, and it's drugs and premarital sex and teen pregnancy and all this horrible shit, and we're not being showbiz parents or whatever. And she's like, well, you know, we'll do it or whatever. And then Janet, like, they get chosen as the weird Knockwurst guys coming through. He's like, oh, look at this baby. It's got a sparkling eyes and I love diamond smile. This is lead bun. And so Janet gets all, like, fucking worked up and everything.
Yeah, she's very excited.
Showbiz mom about, you know, oh, lead bun, and we're going to do this. And I'm baking cookies for the prop master and, like, you know, and all this, like, stuff and everything. And so I'm thinking, okay, so the point of the storyline is going to be Steve. It's going to be a role reversal. Janet's being the crazy one this time. Steve's going to be the voice of reason because of his experience and everything, and he's going to calm her down, and that's going to be our little story arc for this story. But instead, the guy's like, no babies anymore. We're done with babies. And so she gets fired, and that's just it. And that storyline is dropped as far as the Maddie part of it goes. Like, as far as Janet being, like, showbiz, like, she didn't learn a lesson or anything.
Yeah.
She just, like, that's just dropped. And then suddenly it's Steve. Steve dressed as a Viking.
Suddenly Steve.
Yeah. Steve dressed as a Viking with his 4-foot-long meat.
Sausage, yeah. And two blonde women.
Yeah. Oh, we want your sausage, Steve.
And they're taking pictures of blonde women kneeling before him with his big old sausage.
Trying to reach for his
Viking
sausage.
hat. Yeah. And then, like...
You wouldn't like that, would you?
I would not like that at all. But apparently Janet likes it, because then they're talking about how the costume's upstairs. You
skipped over some things. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, we move on from that, too. Steve gets fired as well, because we're going in a completely different direction. Again. And they come... Kelly comes and she's like, hey, I'm going to need the costume back. And that's when Janet says, go ahead.
Oh, she's like, oh, it's upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Kelly leaves and Steve's like sad, she's like, it's okay. You can still call me Helga in bed tonight.
You're right. Ew. So pretty fucked up.
Ew. Yeah.
But yeah, some of these people don't watch the show. So you always have to remember, we got to set this stuff up for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, heavily implied that they use that costume in bed.
That's fine. Whatever. They're a little new in their marriage to need to dress up, but, you know, sure.
It happens. They've had sex in public in that car. That's where she got impregnated.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's it. That's the episode for the week, Carol.
It is.
That's what happened. What did you think of this episode?
I enjoyed this episode a lot. I think I like it because, Kelly's going to get her heart broken, and I hate her. So How about you?
I liked that we got to see some of the characters out of their normal elements.
Yeah.
Like, we got to see Matt away from Kelly and everything, and I like his character more when he's not with Kelly.
Yeah, he was super happy. I mean, he was also on drugs, though. So.
And, you know, we got to see Steve and Janet in weird ways. But, yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Yeah. They've got some hits.
You almost forgot about a fucking storyline, though.
What?
Noah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Noah.
Nothing happens.
Noah meets Noah's tending bar, and a woman from AA comes up to the bar.
He recognizes a woman from AA.
And orders a drink, and instead of the drink, he gives her, like, seltzer water or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I've seen you at meetings. You know, you want to talk about it? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't give her alcohol.
Yeah.
But he does leave his job just to go listen to her, to go take her somewhere to talk.
They go to Malibu. They're like, they stay up all night talking and everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, they really hit it off. Mm-hmm. I think they have sex.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because he takes her home in the morning, and then she starts kissing him and takes him into her house.
Yeah.
Which, like, up until that point, he helped keep her sober, and he was just being supportive, and I really, liked that. Mm-hmm. But then they had to fuck it up by having him have sex with her.
Yeah.
So, whatever. And then she gets super jealous because he takes her to the Peach Pit for a minute to get a blanket because they're going to go have a picnic, and she meets Donna.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, the perfect Donna. Like, where did all this hate come from?
Right, exactly. And she's like, oh, I don't own my own business. I'm just a temp. I'm a fucking loser or whatever. And, it's really weird. How in that one night, how much did he talk about Donna?
Right?
for that night. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so I don't know. I didn't I feel like they're trying to make her seem crazy because she obviously has problems or whatever, but I think that they went a little too far.
But then she goes and gets a drink. Because she's worried, she's jealous of Donna or whatever, and Noah finds her, and he's like, hey, I got you a job with my distributor. It's like a full-time job, so you won't be a temp anymore. Because it's the worst thing in the world to be a temp. I don't know. And she's like, I don't even know why you care. Why don't you just get with fucking Donna? And I'm thinking he would if he could,
right?
He wanted to last episode.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, just be with Perfect Donna, and he's like, he makes her feel better or whatever. And I guess you're not supposed to have romantic attachments like this early into recovery.
That is correct. Yeah. In AA, they're not supposed to have a romantic relationship for a year. Or I've heard there was a movie or whatever where they're like, oh, keep a plant alive before you can have a relationship. Or,
right.
There's all different kinds of things. But yeah, that's definitely not good when you're early in sobriety. So
yeah, but yeah, so we'll see what happens with her. I
think she'll be gone. I don't think this is going to be a continuing story arc.
All right, I bet she'll be back.
All
right, shake on it. All right, well, we will see you next time. Carol, tell people where they can find their own vulnerable alcoholic to have sex with.
You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Anyway, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.